right now we're seeing inflation. They're trying to lower it. Doesn't seem to be working. What do you think's going on? Or do you think that they haven't waited long enough? Or do they do you think they need to keep raising rates? Or is that just going to cause more problems?
So this is an interesting question. And I believe it or not, my best analogy for this is body fat, right? When you start losing fat, it's really easy in the beginning if you keep the work in and you start doing it. But the leaner and leaner you get, the more difficult it is to see a difference and the more critical you get,
Definitely.
right? It becomes almost exponentially harder the leaner you get as you get down.
Very true.
So the inflation moving down from 9% down to what we're at currently, in my mind, is not the hard work. And I've said this over and over again on our show that the pain for the consumer is not going to be in the raising rates, it's going to be the holding rates. It was both Friedman and Volcker who had the underlying supposition that in order to bring inflation down to the 2 to 3% target, which has only been an official target since Ben Bernanke. So it was Bernanke, Yellen, and then I believe Powell, correct?
Yeah.
So Bernanke was the one who made it official, but it had always been approximately 2 to 3% before then. In order to get it down to where the target rate where you want to get it to, you typically had to raise your Fed funds rate above your inflation rate. Yeah.
So we have to be like 9-10% right now.
Yeah, you'd have to be, well, actually right now you'd probably have to be closer to, call it 5.5%, 6% is probably what they're pushing to. But we just had a bad jobs print. Jobs actually went back down to 3.4% from 3.5%. And I know every time somebody hears a low number of unemployment, they go, okay, well, that's a good thing. And it's not. Milton Friedman talks a lot about this as well. A healthy unemployment number is somewhere around 5%. And the reason why is you want transitory migration, people hopping from job to job because they can get more money or they get a better opportunity here or there. Having a super low unemployment rate is actually not good for the economy, and it's not good long term.
Means people are afraid to do anything. They just stay.
People are afraid to do anything. They're staying in their jobs for too long, or there's too many jobs in the market, not enough workers. And what you're going to see now, and it's a byproduct, it's not directly the intention of the Fed, is as they increase their Fed funds borrowing rate and hold rates, unemployment numbers are going to rise and wages will come down. That is just a natural byproduct of what's happening. You've seen it all over the rhetoric.
Did they say that that's part of their goal?
It is part of their goal.
They explicitly said we want this to happen.
They're trying to set expectations is what they're trying to do.
Oh, okay.
That it's a natural byproduct. They're not saying we want this to happen, but they're saying they know it's going to happen. Okay. And I think that's probably a healthy thing. But now what's crazy to me to think is you've had the tech sector hit. You've had the banking sector hit, massive layoffs in both of them. In the lending sector, single-family residence lenders across the country, non-bank lenders. And people are going, okay, well, you know what? I'm in this industry or that industry. I'm okay. The tidal wave hasn't come. We're seeing the tsunami kind of pull out right now. And the tidal wave is what comes next after they're done with their interest rate increasing cycle. And I think where this is going to become most visible to the consumer is July. So January, February, March, you report earnings for Q1 in April. April, May, June, you report earnings for Q2 in July. These Q2 earnings will be reported by companies in July. And I think you're going to hear more about layoffs as those July reporting comes up. You're going to hear more about less profits. Because really only two things a company can do to make more money, the expectation is for all publicly traded companies to make more and more money over time. You can either increase the money you're making, top line revenue, or you can manage your expenses. And right now we're entering an economy where the only way to do it is you're not going to increase your revenue because people are going to stop being able to spend as much. Right. As they start losing their jobs and make less money, they're going to have to manage expenses. And the primary way to do that is human capital, unfortunately. It's reductions in force. So all these things will kind of coalesce into where I think I told you, Adam, a long time ago was July. I think you see July being that pivotal moment for like housing prices and for the market because the consumer is going to have to sell their home to tap into the one thing they have that still has money in it.